I think that one of the things that I wanted to be here tonight is to say that my actual written response to the agreed order is going to be in writing, and it will have attachments, etc. But I wanted to introduce myself tonight to ecology for one thing. I wasn't at the other meeting. I've had some health issues going on. And so with that, I will kind of talk about how that happened. I went to the original meeting, and I kind of did a little bit of this earlier, but it's just like I wanted to say how this happened. And so when I found out from our health department, which was the, what do you call it, the person that would be accountable for a landfill is our local health department. I asked them as the #1 place for a public information request, and they told me they had nothing. So I researched that and found out that landfills by county health departments are supposed to be kept forever, or at least until a landfill closes. So at that point I went, I'm going to find out all about this then. And so I put out my request to all, the county, the city, and ecology, and spent a lot of time. I went, Chris called me personally because he was, Chris Matthews, with them. He was very upset because ecology only had 2 letters. They were certified letters, one to the city, one to the county. I talked about that. But he did say there is a box in the archives. So I spent multiple days there. I copied off the whole box. Then got very small amount of stuff from the county. But the city had another box, and I copied off everything from them. My process is, and I highly recommend it, and if anyone here in this room or that's listening to this at all, if it gets on the air before the comment time is over, you may contact me, and I have 3 big 3-inch binders to look through public comment, private emails, any kind of stuff. I put them in chronological order, and it's the only way that I can paint the picture of exactly how things are happening, because it's not how they come. They come all mixed up, and it's hard to tell what's going on until you get them in order. So I made copies. We made discs. It cost me $150 to make my notebook into a disc. It's all come out of my own pocket, not the thousands of dollars the consultants get for telling them the same information. At this point, what happens is I tried to get city doing the right thing. I gave them my information. I gave them a disc. I gave you guys a disc. And so at this point, we're 2.5 years in. And this was like, when we had that meeting, Chris came up to me that fast because he was so excited. He had just found out that day that they had received their form from geoengineers on April 3rd, that they were going to be able to do the work for the $126,000 or 25. I couldn't find it today, but it was right in that range. So at that time, if they would have hired them to do the SHA and get all the drilling done and the testing done, it would have cost $126,000 for all of it, and it was going to be completed within 2 to 4 weeks, is what Chris had guesstimated. So, but we're talking about 2014. They would have been that far along. But instead, Rebecca and another person, they said reasons of amount of money. Okay. Anyway, now we're at offering them a grant. Ecology, it's public monies, are for $215,000, and then the city's going to pay a certain percentage. I think it's like 15 or 20? 25. And then if they make it into like a dog park, reuse it, then it's 10%. So, and this is going to be completed by maybe 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. I mean, I'm looking at the agreed orders at Goose Lake, and that's how hopeful I am. So this is what I see. We would have been stepped up like 3 years had we had moved, and with half the cost. I can't figure out why this happened, because the expenses are so much more here for our state dollars. I mean, it's all coming out of all of our pockets anyway. it's like whether it's the city money, that city's money is coming out of the public pocket, and so is the county. I'm just saying, that's a lot of difference just right there, of a waste of money, and we would have known years earlier.
So what I would like to do is I'm going to take the agreed order itself, and on page 4 of 24, item I would like to suggest a correction. It says between 1951 and 1981, the landfill was used for the dumping of sludge. It needs to be changed in 1986. We have that in the records, and Ecology has that information in the record from their own employees that that was going on. And furthermore, the city, in its response to the complaint that was filed in federal court, a number 27 on page 4 and number 28 on page 5 admits to 1986. So I'm going to leave that with you so you can look at that. Because right now we've been talking everything about, oh, it all stopped in 1981. We know the dump did not close in 1974, and we know that stuff was still being put up there after 1981. So that's page 4 and 5 of your document. And then I didn't know where to put this in, but on page 6, item E, it talks about an interim action is a remedial action that technically is necessary to reduce the threat to human health. I would like this parcel to go on the title for the parcel with the auditor's office, the county auditor's office, and that the parcels abutting this be also have a notice to that title, or at least in the county's planning tide mark database. I mean, if it's true, even though due diligence was done by the Shelton Hills developer, that they did not know that this C Street dump abutted their property, that's a problem, and it could be a problem for other properties also. It's the same thing with when the gravel company expanded. They did not know that this parcel was a former landfill. They did not know that that abutted. So I would like that. Also, there's many documents that show, even as late as 1988, like, why isn't it fenced? Why isn't it fenced? The EPA says it should be fenced. The local health department, why isn't it fenced? So I would like to have some kind of perimeter security and some warning signs around that as we start this long process toward cleaning up. I've also attached some articles from that landfill, from the book about Shelton in 10 years, that hint to the port, but certified aerospace, and the hardware store that burned down in 1981, so that you can have that. Number K on page 10, it says, if at any time after the first exchange of comments on the draft, Ecology determines that insufficient progress is being made in the preparation of the deliverables required by this section, Ecology may complete and issue the final deliverable. I love this. I really commend that this is included in the agreed order. I lack confidence that the city will keep on this without pressure, and it may just be easier to do the work yourselves. Mm-hmm. And page 16, number 4, it says, when requested by Ecology, arrange or continue information repositories. I would like it to just say arrange and not at Ecology's request. Just do it. Have all the materials be at the city and the library and Ecology Southwest. And I love C on 19, which says, however, neither increased cost of performance of this order, nor change economic circumstances shall be considered circumstances beyond the reasonable control of the city.
I think I left my list of chemicals in my car, but I did submit that list of chemicals to Jason. I use an analytical laboratory in Oregon, and when they look at dump sites, they have a list of heavy metals and organic and inorganic compounds that are chemicals of potential concern. And we've talked a lot about dioxins, but I would like some rationale given to how we can exclude all these different chemicals as being chemicals of concern early in the process. So I can resubmit that list tonight, but Jason has a copy of that list, and I would appreciate any comments at the end of this meeting as to why we would exclude heavy metals if you're going to test for them. And again, the only test that's ever been done was done with a little tulips flower scoop and a backhoe around the perimeter of the property. This is economical, but it's certainly not thorough. And again, in relation to my previous comment, if you don't start with a thorough method to structure the entire investigation, the investigation has the potential to be faulty. And I cannot, for the life of me, understand how ecology can even assume that the city would be accurate in any of its comments on these chemicals. Again, I have a list of about 100 different chemicals and metals, all of which could, with all the burning that goes on, that has gone on and off site. Mercury is a byproduct of hospital sludge. A lot of the mercury that goes into sludge from hospitals ends up, I think, ended up in the landfill. So these things worry me greatly, and I'm still not convinced about the procedure and how that's going to be structured. So that's a summary of my comment. I just want to make that point.